The following is a production of 10 Ply Media. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of the Couch Thoughts Podcast. I'm Rocky Persinger from a couch. With me, as always, partner in crime, Brent Pickens. What's up, Brent?
How you doing, Rock?
All right, man. It's we are recording on a Saturday today.
Yeah, we're definitely going wild card this week.
We're wild carding. It is currently halftime of the West Virginia University game. West Virginia is up 21-0 on the Kansas State Wildcats.
So, Christ, you don't have to be. I mean, it looks like y'all have it this week.
Well, you never know.
I mean,
you never
try
know.
not to, harass the fans any more than you have to this week.
Boy, here we go. See, all right, so we'll just get right into the reason Pickens is all salty here.
Well, I'm not really salty.
You're blatantly salty.
I'm
about
not salty.
It. So our good friend Jeremy Kreitz, listener of the show, friend of the show, called out Brent on Facebook.
Yeah, called me out, and I didn't know what the hell he was even talking about.
So apparently, a few weeks ago, we were talking about the Oakland Raiders,
yes,
on the podcast, and Pickens had made a prediction which Kreitz called a bold prediction about the Raiders.
Which to me, I didn't really think it was that bold, because if you look at Jordy's stats the past like 3 or 4 seasons,
Jordy Nelson,
correct, yeah. If you look at it, if you get that man the ball, like to me, he's one of the most underrated receivers in the league, because he's just a white guy. But I mean, he's deceptively fast, and and he can get separation.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say? Heck with Jordy, never liked him.
Check the tapes. Check the tapes.
It was all Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness!
It was entirely Aaron Rodgers. Jordy Nelson had nothing to do with his success.
You always hated on Jordy
in Green Bay. I did always hate on Jordy.
I know.
And I've never liked him, and never said he was a good player. And
Kreitz, call Rocky out. Play some footage back. I mean, but honestly,
never said it was all Aaron. It was all Aaron.
Every bit of it. He threw it. He caught it, and like. Anyway,
so we thought that the Raiders getting Jordy Nelson, we thought Jordy would do well this year.
Yeah, but I really did, honestly. I mean, I know he's 30. I think he's 34. I know he's coming off an injury, but I still stand by it. If Carr, or I'm not even going to put it on Carr, I'm going to put it on Gruden, because in 2 games, they've thrown to him
5 times.
They've thrown to him 8 times and has 5 catches.
5 catches, okay.
To me, of all-pro receiver, that is ridiculous.
It is.
I don't know why. Why are you not getting him the ball?
Because Gruden thinks that David Carr is not his quarterback. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, you're exactly right. I mean, when you throw your quarterback out after the game, it was like, well, he missed. I don't know why he didn't go downfield to him when he was open.
Yep.
And is ridiculous. So honestly, I don't know if Gruden is a genius or a damn moron.
Well, I'll tell you right now, he's a damn moron. He's a damn moron.
Then okay. Even go back to the Khalil Mack trade.
Yeah, moron.
Okay. He traded him. He got a little bit out of him, but we've said before, a first-round pick isn't anything anymore.
I mean, maybe that was the front office.
Even if it's a number 1 pick, you're not guaranteed anything anymore. Like 10 years ago, a number one overall pick, it was like, okay, that they'll probably be something.
Yep.
Now, there's more busts in the league than there is really good overall players.
That's true.
So, and then you trade him, you get rid of him, and then you go in there and it's like, it's really hard to find a pass rusher in this league.
Yeah, he did say that this past week.
It's like, what?
It's hard to find a pass rusher.
But you just traded probably, I'm not going to say the number, but in the top 5 pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, but he said that it's hard to find one. He didn't say it was hard to get rid of one.
I mean, that's true. So
I mean, no, Gruden's an idiot. Now
we're coming from a front office that had Al Davis like shit in the bed year in year out. Like we're going to get well, if he has if he runs a 4.3 40, we're going to sign him. It don't matter what is everything else is. It just needs to be fast. But I really thought because Gruden, I was a big fan of his quarterback camp. I love listening to him announce, and you just listen to him announce and stuff. It's like, man, this guy really knows his stuff. But then he goes.
See, that's not what I get when I listen to him announce. What I get is this guy is so stupid. He says stuff like John Madden. He's an idiot, and that's why it's hilarious to me.
Maybe
that's why I like to hear him announce.
But maybe it wasn't announced. Maybe it was the quarterback camp.
The quarterback camp is funny because he says stupid stuff.
It is, but when he's actually asking them question stuff, it almost makes him. To me, I thought okay, he's a little bit smarter than I gave him credit for.
Now he throws out some ZY97 slant, and you act like he's a damn football genius.
I know. Well, I mean,
that's ridiculous. But he's an idiot.
Well, yeah.
But I did believe in Jordy Nelson when he went there. But apparently it was all Aaron. That's all I'm gonna say.
And I'll tell you that Jordy still has something left in the tank.
Oh yeah, man.
And I know it's early in the season, and I'm telling you, if I know they're 0-2, they lost the 2 games, but if they can get a little bit of momentum, something going, and something with that offense starts clicking, I still feel like Jordy, being Jordy, I mean he can really have a decent season if Carr gets a rolling. I know there's a bunch of ifs here, but I know what Jordy can do, and
but it was all Aaron. It was all Aaron Rodgers. That was the thing. Jordy didn't do anything. He wasn't even open. Aaron Rodgers just threw him open every time.
Threw him open.
That's what it was. And I did think that David Carr would be doing a little better than he is this year. Derek Carr. Shit. Why did I keep saying David?
Because his brother sucks.
His brother sucks. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I'm thrown off. It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
It'll
mess with you.
I'm going to New Orleans tomorrow. I'm flying out. I'm probably going to smell like piss for a week when I come back because of Bourbon Street. So we'll see how that goes. But we had to get that out of the way. Kreitz. I like Kreitz calling us out though.
I do too. I love it. I mean, I would honestly. I'd like to. That happen more often. Give us a.
Don't give him an invitation.
But also I want to give Kreitz another shout out with his Tampa Bay Bucks. Fitzpatrick just rolling.
Fitzmagic, son.
Fitzmagic.
I'm starting him this week in fantasy.
Well, you should have started the past 2 weeks.
Well, I should have, but I said, okay. I didn't have him the first week, right?
Yep.
I picked him up before the second game because the man scored 56 points. You got to pick him up. So I picked him up, but I'm like, he'll come back down to earth this week, and then he balled for 44 points. Yep. So then I'm like, well, guess I got to play the man this week.
Yep.
It's kind of
just whatever you do. Just Deshaun, you need to go off again this week. Hit him. You just need to. I need to beat Matt. I gotta have. If I lose every other game this week, the rest of the season, I gotta beat Matt this week. That's all I need.
You didn't play him last week?
No.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
They put up 29 points. I was like, shit. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. I'm still trying to swindle Pickens out of Deshaun Jackson.
Also, an interesting fact about Deshaun. This blew my mind. Okay, of the big time receivers of all time, who do you think has the most 60-yard touchdown receptions? All the big receivers.
Is it Deshaun?
He's tied with Jerry Rice at 23.
Well, see,
do you know where Randy Moss ranks?
Probably first.
Fifth.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
Just to me, it blows my mind because Deshaun's not a big guy. You know, he's fast. He's fast, but like to me, you know, when you think of big time receivers, it was always that big, you know.
Yeah, but see, Jerry Rice isn't a big time guy. He's a route runner,
right?
Jerry Rice is a route runner, so that doesn't surprise me that he's actually kind of surprises me he's 23rd because that seems a little high to me for Jerry Rice because he didn't have a lot of big time plays. He's more of a route runner, but
well, he's first, but he has 23. They're tied.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's first.
Oh.
So I don't know. I thought that was kind of I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew Deshaun was a punt return.
I thought you said he was.
No. I'm sorry. He's ranked 1 with 23.
Oh, okay.
I may have misspoke, but I thought that was really interesting. I was.
Well, see, so that surprised the shit out of me. Jerry Rice is number 1 on that list because I don't see him as a big deep threat. I see him as more of a route runner, but.
But I guess that kind of goes hand in hand, Cause,
but he wasn't. He's like it's not like he's the fastest guy on the field,
No, but I mean, if you can run the route, and because I was watching in the group message the other night. I was watching some videos, and it popped up. I forgot he even played for the Seahawks.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't. I was like, what the hell? I was like, and then because it showed, he kind of stepped. He ran his route. He got open, and it was a game-winning touchdown, but it was like 60-some yards. So I was kind of surprised. I completely forgot he played for the Seahawks.
But yeah, Deshaun there for a while, when he was with the Eagles, he had some big years, huge years.
Well, that I think it was 2010. I think.
Yeah.
I remember the game. It may have even been a playoff game. They were
probably against the Packers.
No, they were playing the Redskins. Okay. Maybe it was for the divisional title. Well, I remember it was tied, and they punted. And Deshaun he returned that punt in the last few seconds and scored a touchdown. So I mean, he's an explosive guy, and he's getting up there in age too. He's starting. I think he's in his 30s. Yeah. So he still has that explosiveness, and he's still exciting to watch.
When you got Fitzmagic dropping you dimes,
dropping them dimes.
So, I mean, I watch it. I'll start him this week. He'll have 5 points.
That's what happened with Deshaun. So I'm not.
Yeah, so but anyway, we had to throw that out there. So we promised. I did a little preview this week on the Facebook post. I promised a lot of PlayStation talk this week, and I might lose some people, but Pickens has an interesting scenario with PlayStation with Sony going on right now. So Pickens, why don't you give us a little summary of what's going on?
I don't know. Probably you heard me talking about it a couple weeks ago. I was at work and I get a text or get an email saying $100 has been added to my PlayStation account. Well, apparently, and this for anybody who has kids, you might want to watch this. Because I usually buy the PlayStation card. I usually, I never have my debit card on account on the file. Well, I guess I slipped up. I bought something on there,
junked it,
left it on there. Well, Hunter's been playing Spider-Man and Witcher and some other stuff while I'm at work. Well, apparently he decided to buy Hitman 2 or Hitman 2 Gold Edition, $99. So as soon as it happened, I called him. I was like, please tell me y'all can, this just happened. I screwed up. I didn't even know it was still on the file. Can you help me?
$100 game, probably the most expensive damn game on PlayStation Store.
Oh yeah, it couldn't have been a $10 game or something. It had to be.
Couldn't be an indie game.
No. So I call them, and Sony's usually been decent to me over the years. I mean, I've been with them since the very first one. I've been Sony through and through.
Which we've talked about several times. Pickens has been a Sony guy from way back.
Yeah, from way back. So I call them. They're like, okay, no problem. This and Well, anyway, 2 weeks goes by.
Yeah, they tell you it's going to take 2 weeks for the money to get back into your account.
Well, it says 3 to 5 days, and then up to 90 days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what they get.
That's like a freaking cable repair guy coming.
No.
Hey, we can come between 8 and 8, and it could be 3 days from now.
In January to December. So, I mean, there it is. Anyway, 2 weeks goes by. I get an email saying it was denied. So, I'm a little pissed off.
Yeah, he's a little angry.
So I call him. And I'm going to give you a little backstory. I'm the type of guy that if I'm going to McDonald's and they get my order wrong, I just take it. I don't say anything. I don't cause a fuss.
I mean, he's timid.
If
he just tries to be nice to people.
I really do. I mean, my friends would say I'm a dick, which I am, but to people I don't know, I don't really, So
isn't that the truest thing?
It is,
So, I'm really nice to strangers, but complete asshole to everybody I know.
So I'm like, all right, so. They tell me it can be up to 30 minutes. So on the way home, I'm on hold the whole way. Well, I get home. Finally, 10 minutes after I get home, I finally get through to somebody.
Which it takes him a half hour to drive home from work.
Yes.
So he's on hold for 40 minutes.
So I'm already pissed off. Okay. Well, the guy, he asked for my username and all this, my email. I tell him what happened. I was like, look, I got the damn case number. I was like, I want to know why this was denied. And he's like, well, at first he's like, well, you've this has happened once before. I was like 8 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 8 years ago on the PS3.
Because my son is Trent is 10 now, so he was like 3, probably Hunter's age, or he was probably 3 when it happened. Well, he's like, well, all right, well, so we start looking, and on the thing, it says, if you pre-order a game, you cancel pre-order if it hasn't been downloaded completely. Well, anyway, the guy's like, well, we can't do this, and I was like, so you're telling me I'm flipping stuck with the $100 purchase? I was like, I want to know why. I was like, because this is bullcrap. I've been with y'all from the beginning. I was like, this is unacceptable. And I'm starting to get really hot. And he's like, I was like, I want to know why it was denied. He's like, well, it's not because of that. It's because the license is already on your system. I was like, listen. I was like, if I downloaded it, if I bought it, because a thing happened a while back with the Marvel Alliance. I downloaded it. I didn't realize it. Then I bought it again. So I was stuck with 2 copies. I'm like, now if I bought it, downloaded it, and played it, that's fine. I was like, there's still 56 days before I can even play the damn Hitman 2 Gold Edition.
Yep.
I was like, there's no reason why y'all can't take that off. He's like, well, I'm sorry, sir. Have a nice day. I was like, whoa, you're not going to hang up on me. I was like, you're going to put somebody else on the phone I can talk to. I want to talk to your boss. Well, he puts, and he's like, well, all right, well, give me just a second. He sends me to someone else. And he's like, well, he's like, how are you doing? He's like, how are you doing today, sir? I was like, well, I'm not doing very damn good. I was like, I'm pretty pissed off right now. He's like, well, let me see if I can help you. I was like, well, somebody better be able to help me. Well, he gives me the same rundown. I was like, well, I want to know why the hell you can't cancel this.
It's a pre-order.
It's a pre-order. I was like, on your website, it says, that you can cancel pre-order up to this. He's like, well, the licensing and all this, and I was like, he's like, well, we don't even have to give you a refund because it says on the thing when you buy it. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, my 4-year-old didn't read the description and all this.
Yep.
And I went off. I mean, I was, he kept apologizing. He's like, well, sir, I'm sorry for. I was like, dude, you can sit here and say you're sorry all you want, but I can't. This is ridiculous. Y'all can't help somebody out. I was like, your kids, I was like, I don't understand how y'all can take $100 out like that, and then without a thing. But then if it comes to putting money back in,
can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah, it's convenient how that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, well, sir, I was like, dude, you can sit here and say you're sorry all you want, but that does not do me any good.
Yep.
So I even threatened to go to Microsoft. That's the problem. People don't care. They're such a big corporation now. They don't care. Because $100 ain't nothing to them.
Yeah.
But for somebody like me, that's a pretty damn big deal.
Well, it's a lot of people just don't care about their jobs anymore, man. It's like they don't care about people. They don't care about anything. I mean, that guy's probably in fucking Bangladesh or something. Yeah. But it's like me with these car salesman guys. I think I talked about it last week. I'm talking to a guy at Honda about an Accord, And I'm like, oh, well, all right, I'm going to go shop at Toyota, see what they got. The man just says, okay, see you later. Haven't heard from him in 2 weeks.
That's what Sony did with me.
Exactly, man. No, they don't care. It's like, oh, I don't want to sell a car. I don't care. I don't want to have a loyal customer.
Yeah.
You know, nobody cares.
It was funny. Lacey called him back, and she took a different route. She was nice and gave him a sob story and all this. And they told her the same damn thing they told me. Then she's like, well, my husband and his best friend have this huge podcast.
Huge podcast.
They're going to let all their listeners know about y'all.
So here we are, talking to the 15 people who listen
and
to
I'm
this.
just hoping Sony doesn't block me off my PlayStation. Well, I mean, I'm mad about it, but I'm not going to Microsoft.
Yeah, well, see, that's one, you know.
I know Microsoft is really good to their customers, and a guy I work with, he told me he canceled pre-order with no problem, all this, which I'm sure they are, but man, I've been with Sony from the beginning, and I'll be Sony. It's like I'm not happy with their customer service. It sucks, but Sony's my, I love my PlayStation. I can't go to Xbox.
You fixed the problem though. I mean, you taking the card off.
The card's off, and I did find out if you go to your settings, you can also put a password on your account.
Yeah, which I should have told you that a while ago because I've had that forever.
I didn't even know they had that. So
yeah, after Sony got hacked one time, that's not. See, this is just, we're not making a good case for Sony here.
No.
But Sony's been hacked, their servers have been hacked like 20 times. But after Sony got hacked one time, I changed my password to something pretty strong and then put a password on my purchases. So,
that's another thing. When she was on the phone with him, she asked him, she's like, so we're stuck with this. There's nothing y'all can do. They're like, no. She's like, well, what if our account was hacked?
Yeah.
And it was downloaded? She's like, you're telling us there's nothing you can do? They're like, no. So, yeah, we're not making a very good case for Sony. Because if your account gets hacked and somebody buys a bunch of stuff and downloads it, it sounds like you're just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Because I asked the dude when he was on there, I was like, so you're telling me, he's like, well, this isn't one of the instances we can do a refund. I was like, so can you explain to me when the hell you can do a refund?
Yeah. Because you called them 3 seconds after it happened.
Yeah, and I was like, y'all, I was like, and that's another thing I brought up, but I was like, I called you as soon as it happened. I got an email saying it. I called y'all. You took the money out, but you can't fix it? And he's like, well, I'm sorry for the... I was like, well, let me tell you. I was like, I'm pissed off y'all took an hour. You wasted an hour of my time. 2 weeks ago, you told me it'd be fine. And then I get an email 2 weeks later saying it's not. You can't help me.
Yep.
I was like, that is unacceptable. That is bullshit. But here
Nothing
we are.
you can do about it. So hopefully Hitman 2 is the greatest game of all time.
Yep.
That's kind of
for
where
$100. Oh, this is another thing on the pre-order. For $100, I get a leather suitcase on the fucking game. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep it PG on the freaking game.
I've already said the F word like 3 times today.
But
we're out of our element Saturday.
I get a suitcase and a gun and a pistol
in the game.
That's it. That's from
now. For $100, I better get a freaking suitcase in real life with the Hitman logo on it and an actual pistol.
That's real.
So
and I guess the maps and stuff. Which
you're gonna have a head start on everybody with your pistol and your suitcase.
Oh gosh!
I mean, I wonder if that suitcase can get through scanners.
It better be able to. I'm trying to look on the bright side of this. But it has really upset me. I'm not happy with Sony's customer service part of it, but I like my PlayStation.
Yeah, man. It's like I look at like, okay, could I go to Xbox One for like the Xbox One X, Box X1?
Oh boy.
It's like I look at it, like right now, PlayStation 4 has Spider-Man,
which is the the PlayStation exclusive, I guess,
and it broke sales records.
Yeah. So,
You know, God of War.
Yeah.
There's going to be The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's all these games that are just, you know, they just Detroit Become Human. That's only
that
on
one new
PlayStation,
Samurai
right?
game that's coming out.
That Samurai game looks
freaking
legit.
insane.
Ghost of Tsushima. We talked about that on our E3 episode this year.
That game looks filthy.
Which you can find that up on YouTube. Our E3 episode.
You got Resi 2 soon. I mean,
Resident Evil 2 remake. Which
Red Dead 2, son.
Yeah, but that's going on Xbox too.
Whatever, same difference.
I mean, or not. Well, Xbox also. It's going on Xbox One X.
Yeah, there's not an Xbox 2. There's
also,
not.
But
they took a different route.
So yeah, you know, I gotta say, I mean, well, I haven't been screwed over like with Sony like you have, but
I mean, I know. Part of it's my fault for I didn't even know it was on there. So I mean, I take responsibility for that. But it just made me mad that they wasn't willing even to help me.
Yeah, didn't help nothing.
You know, because stuff happens, life happens. You know, it you don't realize something's on there, and then you know your kid just. So I can't be mad at him really. He thought he was just playing a game,
right?
So live and learn, I guess. But you know, it really did make me mad that they wasn't willing to work with me. You know, so.
But yeah, man, you know, the PlayStation 5 comes out. We'll be there getting it.
Yeah.
Unless, I don't know. I mean, maybe, okay, like the Xbox 360, right? The Xbox 360 comes out first, and that I just didn't have enough money to buy it at the time, you know. And then the PlayStation 3 comes out, and my mom gets it for me for Christmas, you know. But there for a long time, Xbox 360 was way better than the PS3.
Yeah.
You know, for a pretty long time. But,
because PlayStation took forever to put anything out.
So I think, you know, if I'm slowing down on video games in my older age. I'm turning 30 here at the end of October.
About time. I've been there for a while.
You've been there for like a month.
August. I mean, it's been rough on me.
Yeah,
we're aging.
We're already falling apart. We're 30 years old, but
broke down arches. I got a spider bite. It's finally healing.
It's finally healing up, but
it's been rough. It's been a rough 30.
It's been a rough 30.
I just hope I don't make it to 60.
Dirty 30s. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. We got like twice of this to go. I don't know, but you know, if that happens again, if the next console generation, I might just sit back a little bit and see who gets all the games, and whoever gets all the games, I'll buy that system.
Yeah,
and it might be a Microsoft one.
Well, my only issue with Microsoft is their Trollo. I just the PlayStation.
That's the controller for people who but not everybody knows that we call it the Trollo.
I mean, they should.
Oh boy, here we go. Well, what's wrong with the controller now, though? Okay, the original Xbox, the Duke controller was crap.
Yeah.
What's wrong with it now?
It's just, I love my Sony. I love the PlayStation. I love the way PS4, what they did with theirs.
Yeah, but the Xbox 360 controller was way better than the PS3 controller.
I like my PS3.
Oh boy, here we go.
And it's kind of one of those, you know. It's just been I've you know I haven't really had anything else, you know. So I like it.
So speaking of PlayStation, Pickens going back to the PlayStation 1. They are coming out. So Nintendo has had the NES Classic Edition, which had like 30 games on it. Then you had, I think it's 40 games. I don't even remember. You can't get either of them. Well, you can now. They re-released them and stuff, but you couldn't get either. Then they came out with the Super Nintendo Classic Edition.
And then the Sega had like 8 different ones.
But Sega were those at-game stuff that it wasn't really Sega that was putting them out, so they kind of suck. But
see, the one Jeremy has, I like it. The Sega he has, it has preloaded games on them. It has the wireless controller.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I don't like that wireless controller, man.
I don't either. Plus, though, you can play games in it.
Yeah, I mean...
So, I thought that was kind of neat. And I was kind of hoping that's kind of what Sony was going to do with their the Mini.
Well, see, but that's not what Nintendo did, so...
Yeah.
That Sega Genesis thing is kind of outside that whole deal because it's one, it doesn't play all the games. There's like certain games it plays, certain games it doesn't. And the controller has like there's a lag on it, like it's really tough. But update 35-6 Mountaineers. So, nice. But anyway,
nice.
I don't like that deal. Anyway, the Super Nintendo Classic comes out. It's got like 25 games on it, and it's $80. The original NES one, I believe, was $60, or maybe $70. But either way, the Super Nintendo one was $80 when it came out. So the next logical thing in order is the Nintendo 64 Classic. Yeah. So everybody's looking, oh, Mel, maybe the Nintendo 64 Classic will come out. Well, then this week, Sony drops that they are coming out with a PlayStation 1 Classic Edition, which is, they didn't even try to change the name. They're like, we're just doing what Nintendo does because it's called the NES Classic. They're just calling this the PlayStation Classic. Like, they didn't even try to change the name on it. But, so it comes with 20 games installed, and it's $100. So, see, I don't know. So basically, for the price of Hitman 2, you can get 20 PlayStation. Pickens about ready to hit me right now. But for the price of Hitman 2 Gold Edition, you can get 20 PlayStation Classic games.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's a pretty good deal, huh?
It's not bad.
Nah, I actually think it's a pretty crappy deal. I don't really like that price point. What do you think?
Well, I don't like the price point, and then honestly, because to me, the place you could go and when we were at the video game convention, I could have got a PlayStation.
Yep.
For $20.
Yep.
Then I could have went because I'm pretty sure you can get the PlayStation 1 games.
Oh, they're like $3
for pretty cheap.
They're like
right
$3
now.
a piece. Yeah.
And I have a feeling, and they've done this with all of them. They're going to put a couple decent games on there, and the rest are probably going to be crap.
Well, I don't know. I think they'll come up with 20 decent games. So right now they've announced Final Fantasy VII,
which that's the RPG game. I mean,
RPG.
we were talking about it, and honestly, then I wasn't a fan of RPG games.
Yeah,
I probably didn't even know what they were. I was.
See, I was big into Final Fantasy VII because my buddy had. Well, first he had a Dreamcast, and we played like Crazy Taxi and stuff on that. Well, then. Even though Dreamcast came out after the PlayStation, after that he got a PlayStation 1. And Final Fantasy VII was the big game that me and him played. And, of course, we're only like 10 years old. But
yeah.
Final Fantasy VII was a huge one. I would go over there and play it. And this was also around the time that I was discovering like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time and, games like that. So this is where me and Pickens kind of branched paths with our... With all of our gaming, because I went for more of the RPGs. I played the Zeldas and stuff like that. Pickens stuck the course on the sports games and I
played a lot of I tell you, okay, I'm gonna throw some wild card games out there that a lot of people hadn't heard. I would love to see them put a couple of the Die Hard games on there, or maybe even one.
Aren't those like light gun shooters though? The Die Hard games.
Huh?
Aren't those light gun shooters? Like you have to have the gun to shoot?
No. Those were just third-person shooters.
Oh, okay.
I mean, one of them had the kind of like the arcade where you had the crosshairs, and you.
Well, yeah. Well, I think you could use those with the light gun. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, you probably
could play that game with the light gun.
And but those, the two of them were. I think the second one came out on PS2, but the first one was was a third person shooter. You just had like 30 levels. You had to kill everybody on. There's you're basically going up the the
Yeah,
plaza.
so I just remember they had that game at the Dairy Queen close to here in the arcade,
I remember.
the arcade cabinet, and you had the gun, you'd shoot the gun, and then you would like advance a level, and then there was a special cutscene in between each floor.
Yeah.
I remember after the first level, I believe it was the first level, the cutscene was you were running down the hallway,
Yeah.
right? And then this guy pops out and you just punch the crap out of him. Like you got to hit the button, you punch the crap out of him, and then you get to the next floor and I mean, you know, if they could pull it off with the little crosshairs and you could move it around.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing: if moving the crosshair around, if that requires your analog stick, not going to be able to do it.
Well, see, on the original Die Hard, it had that, and then it had the actual third person where you're going for levels.
Right.
But on it, you just use the directional pad.
You just use the
to move the cross. And I wasn't a big fan of that. But but when you're actually going up Tacoma,
Nakatomi
Plaza, you had 30-some floors you had to clear.
Yeah.
You killed everybody on the level on that, and then you had 60 seconds to find the elevator with the bomb in it.
Oh boy.
And then you'd go into it, you'd disarm it, and you'd go to the next one. And to me, that was one of my favorite PlayStation games.
Okay. See, so I played the arcade at the Dairy Queen,
Which I played that a lot too.
but I never played the PlayStation version,
And-
which it sounds like it was a little different than the arcade.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Which it was fun. I'm gonna throw another wild card one in there that a lot of people probably hasn't played. I think it was on PlayStation. Pretty sure. Yeah, it had to be. It was X-Files.
Yeah, the X-Files game.
There was six discs.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure it won't be on there, but
It was a point and click like adventure game.
yeah, and you made your decisions, and at the bottom, you had a little toolbar. I think it was that you could flash your badge or handcuffs.
Yeah.
And so it was one.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just so much. I was kind of hoping that they would have like even a separate store where you could buy like PlayStation games on there through it.
Well, see,
That way you could add more. But
so this is my problem with PlayStation, because on the PlayStation 3, they had the store and they had darn near every PlayStation 1 game you could want.
Yeah.
Well, I never saw Die Hard or X-Files on there. Those are kind of, but
those are kind of rare.
those are pretty rare games. But they had so many games. It's like the virtual console with Nintendo. And then they just like, oh well, we'll have all this on the PlayStation Store for the PlayStation 3, but then we're not going to do it for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
Like, because they're probably like, oh, we can sell these individually, like,
Well, we'll see, and they have something now on the PlayStation Now. Okay, I think it's like $30-some a month.
Yeah, see, that's stupid.
Well, then you can. I seen a thing where you can get, if you have PlayStation Now, you can actually download PS2 games on there now to stay on your system. But I don't want to pay $40-some a month
That's
just to
not
play
worth it.
some.
It's not worth it.
So I don't know.
But there's going to be 20 titles on this thing. So right now, the only ones they've announced are Final Fantasy VII, like we said, a game called Jumping Flash. Never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
Which I'm not a big PlayStation guy, but I've never heard of it. You got Ridge Racer Type 4.
Which that was a pretty solid racing
game.
game.
Racing game.
I played that game a lot. Me and my brother did.
So, but here's the thing. Them putting Ridge Racer Type 4 on this makes me think they're not going to put Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of
That's a huge mistake, man, if they don't do that.
It is, because Gran Turismo 2, that is one of the most like iconic racing games.
Or are you going to have 2 racing games within a 20-game list? That's 10% of your games.
See, I kind of wish they would have had like maybe even like kind of where the fans got to vote on it or something like that.
Dude, damn it, why don't you work for Sony? Like, why wouldn't they? Well, then we just get a bunch of those RPGs and crap that we
Which,
never
and
played.
I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of RPGs on there that I haven't heard of in the top 25 PlayStation games.
Yeah, Suikoden, You know, I like games like Legend of Dragoon is an awesome freaking RPG.
See, there's a lot of those I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
But,
I
I mean-
played those on the PlayStation 3 for the PlayStation 1 store since I never had a PlayStation 1.
Which
so.
and I expect Driver to be on there.
Yeah, see, I don't know if Driver will be on there or not because if I'm going to put a second driving game on there, it's going to be Gran Turismo 2.
Yeah.
It can't be, you know, Ridge Racer Type 4, it's all right and everything. It's a good game. But Gran Turismo 2 is the driving game on the PlayStation 1.
Yep.
You know, and you know.
Will Tony Hawk be on there?
I hope so.
I hope. I mean, it has to be.
Well, but see, like, you know, they have to go to, like, Neversoft and Activision to get the license for it. Yep. So I don't know if they're going to do that or not. But, so Ridge Racer Type 4, you got Tekken 3 on there.
Which Tekken, I played a lot of Tekken. I mean,
Tekken 3 is one of the greatest fighting games of all time.
Yeah. So,
it really is. And then you have Wild Arms, which I don't know if you played that one, Pickens.
I remember seeing the commercials for it, but I never actually played it.
It's a really good RPG. So it is exciting. They, you know, the PlayStation 1 is kind of an RPG system, and it is really good that they have Final Fantasy 7 and Wild Arms in their, you know, top 5, so to say.
I kind of expect Spyro to be on there, just because it's. I mean, you know, I remember. I mean that.
Yeah. So there's two games that I kind of lump in is Spyro and Crash, right?
Right.
So here's the thing, though. So they just came out with the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy on PS4.
Yeah.
They're also remastering Spyro. I believe it just came out.
Yeah, you are correct.
So I'm agreeing with you. Those games should be on there.
Yeah.
But Sony's already trying to sell that on the PS4.
Yeah, because then you're kind of competing with yourself.
Right.
You know,
so why would they do that? Yep. You know? So, like, that's why I'm like, I'm not too excited about this PlayStation Classic.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, just put the games on the freaking PS4 and let us play them. Yeah. I mean, that, you know, because we did that on the PS1. I still have my on the PS3. I still have my PS3. So I could go right now if I wanted to and buy all these games on the PlayStation 3 for like $3 a piece.
I mean, is Manhunt going to be on there?
It should be.
Yeah, it should be.
Was that a PS2 game or PS1?
It might have been PS2.
I think Manhunt was PS2.
It may have been.
But, you know, either way, so, you know, games that they have to have on there. Absolutely have to have on there. Metal Gear Solid.
That's a must.
If they do not, you know, the games I'm saying now, if they do not have these games on this system, throw it away.
Yep.
Metal Gear Solid, the tactical espionage action, one of the greatest games of all time, no doubt. Pickens played the demo over and over again.
I played the shit out of the demo
back in the day. You know, no, so that's a Konami game.
Yep.
So they're going to have to go to Konami, which on the NES Classic Edition, Nintendo put Castlevania on there. So they went to Konami and got that license. So there's hope for that.
Yep.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
If the game is not on there, this thing will be garbage.
It has to be on there.
See, and if you have those games on here, why not announce it in this video that they put out?
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know,
it doesn't sound like they're going to be on there because, to me, those are the type of games that make it before Wild Arms. I don't, or Ridge Racer.
Well, that definitely before freaking Jumping Flash.
That's real.
I mean, you announce if Metal Gear Solid's going to be on the darn thing, you announce that right now.
Yeah.
You know, and same thing with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. One of the changed gaming.
Yeah.
Both of those games changed gaming completely.
Yes.
You know, they're it's the pinnacle of the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And you know, we'll have to hold out because they've only announced 5 games. There's going to be 20 games, but you know, if I don't get a game list before too long, you know, I mean, I'm going to be a little angry.
I'm even going to throw another wild card game out there that I feel like
this is why
this is a wrestling game. SmackDown has got to be on there.
Oh, you're putting that as a must-have.
Must-have.
Oh boy, you just destroyed my damn speed, my microphone.
Sorry, getting riled up.
You know, I try to produce this show pretty nicely. You know, I try to get good sound quality, and then I got this banshee screaming next to me.
I mean, of course, that's another one I don't expect to be on there. Because
a wrestling game would be nice, though.
It would be, but I feel like they'll have a few decent games, and then they're just gonna put some crap on there.
Well, see, I don't agree with that, because the Nintendo Classic and the the Super Nintendo Classic, all the games were good.
Like, well, see, I haven't actually looked at the rundown on
those, all of the games are really good for those.
Well, so maybe, I mean, there's hope.
Yeah,
then. Maybe they'll.
So, yeah, they got Mario Brothers. So take the NES Classic, right?
Mm-hmm.
The original Mario Brothers games: Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, Kirby's Adventure, Mega Man 2, Dr. Mario, Final Fantasy, Super Mario Brothers 2, Balloon Fight, Double Dragon 2, Ice Climber, Zelda 2, Punch Out, Super Contra, Galaga, Excite Bike, Castlevania, Ghosts and Goblins. Like, they have, there's a lot of good games.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with the Super Nintendo. They had a lot of great games on that. So I think PlayStation better come, with some good games.
I really hope they do.
They really need to. I think they have to. But Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, a wrestling game would be good. I think that
I would just like to see a big variety in the category, not just all racing game. I feel like a racing game, NASCAR has to be on there. Because to me,
but it's like that's another driving game. So
it is. It's tough, because But I mean, to me, that when I think of PlayStation, that's one of the big ones. Because I remember the split screen and Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. that.
So here's another one. If it's not on the system, throw the system in the trash. A Resident Evil game.
Yes, that's a must.
So okay, here's my argument. I think they should put Nemesis on there.
Oh yeah.
Over Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Oh, I'm with you. Yeah.
Because one, Nemesis is a forgotten game. It's really good.
It is.
It's a great game. The Nemesis is chasing you the whole game. It makes it awesome. They've got this remake of Resident Evil 2 coming out.
Right.
So why put it's like Crash or Spyro. Even though I think Crash and Spyro pretty much are, I'll put it either Crash or Spyro. One of those better be on this freaking thing.
Yeah, because you think of the original PlayStation, that is you really think. I mean, they're synonymous with each. I mean, you have to.
So Resident Evil 2 is the best of the three on that system, but I think Nemesis is a forgotten game, and they're coming out with Resident Evil 2 remastered. So why compete with yourself? So and they might even put a Driver 2. You mentioned Driver. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, Tekken 2, Gran Turismo 2. One of the Mega Man X games would be good to have on there. That's more of a Nintendo type thing. They could put like GTA 2 on there.
They could.
That'd be a pretty decent one.
Those are weird though, because it's
over the head.
Like you're looking at it like from a helicopter.
Yeah.
So it was different.
Another pretty big game to have on there would be Chrono Cross.
I played that one.
So that's the spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger.
Okay.
One of the best RPGs of all time. They also, Chrono Trigger came out on the PlayStation 1, but I wouldn't put that on there because you don't think of that as a PlayStation game.
Will Twisted Metal make it?
Twisted Metal, that's another one I'm throwing on there. It's like you got to have it. You got to have Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
Like you have to have that.
The controls were funky.
Yeah. They all are in these,
They are. It's kind of weird to, because you don't realize, you forget. And when I had the PS3, I ended up buying Twisted Metal 2.
Yeah.
And I went back to try to play it, and the gas was 2 buttons.
Yeah.
And it was just weird. It's hard to remember and get used to. So
Yeah.
it was different. But
Yeah.
But
That's
one
all
of
those
those
games back then, man. They're
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you got to have Tony Hawk 2 on there.
Tony Hawk 2 is a must.
I'm looking through lists right now trying to come up with some games, but Tomb Raider maybe, because I'm not a huge Tomb Raider fan. I don't think you are either.
I'm not either.
But I think Tomb Raider. You think PlayStation, you think Tomb Raider.
Well, there's another game that you kind of think of. Well, at least I do, is Medieval.
That's a great game, man.
Yeah, and that was another one that really, when I think of PlayStation, that's one of the first ones that pop, come in my head.
One Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a turn-based strategy game where you move your guys kind of like on a chessboard.
Yeah. See, I wonder if they're if that's one of those, they already have one Final Fantasy in there.
Yeah.
If they're gonna, will they have multiple? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're putting Tekken 3 in there, but they could also put Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Yeah.
The Street Fighter game in there. Xenogears is a big RPG.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll even have room for that one on there, but there's a lot of RPGs that they can put on there. But these games we've mentioned, are kind of like you gotta have them on there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no. There's just no option around it, man. And I don't see how you could. But I don't. My point is, I don't think they're going to. I don't think. And for $100, this thing, here. Okay. Here's why I would buy it for $100 when it first came out. Right. You get these 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You get the 20 games to start with, but the thing can connect to the internet.
It can connect.
It can connect to the internet.
But you cannot hook it. You have no access to the PlayStation Network.
Right, no PlayStation Network access. It can connect to the internet, and it can download new games.
Okay, so they are playing in.
Well, no, I'm saying this is the only reason it's not going to do this.
As
far as we know,
right?
No. But this is why I would buy it for $100 if it could connect to the internet and I could download. Additional games. If they came out, okay, here's a pack of 5 games. You can download those for $10.
Yeah,
I buy it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right now. Oh, here's another thing. I don't think it even comes with an AC adapter.
Well, it's HDMI, isn't it?
Yeah, it's HDMI, but I'm talking about the power to the system.
Oh,
I think you have to plug it in from USB.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah. So it gets its power from USB. So, but there's no USB to plug it in the wall. You have to have a USB.
Huh.
Unless you want to pay extra. So that's that's stupid. Why?
Yeah.
So I'm not too excited about this thing. Like I said, if it could connect to the internet, or even if they could find a way to you can order 10 games for $20 and we give them to you on this flash drive. You put it into your system via the USB. Excuse me, and then you can download those 10 games.
Yeah.
Well,
see, I was really hoping they would have maybe not PlayStation Network thing, but a library.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. Basically,
I was hoping something like that, and
maybe they will. Maybe they'll shock us.
That's just tough to. There's so many good PlayStation games, and just 20 games. It just seems like for $100, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I could just go buy a PlayStation and
you really could, or you could buy a PlayStation 2 and buy. I already have a PlayStation 2, so you can buy a PlayStation 2, play the PS2, and most of the PS1 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just don't see a reason to go out and spend $100 when you can get this stuff for. Like he said, PlayStation 1, we saw it the other day. We don't even know if that's a good price or a bad price. With PlayStation 1, you can get one for $20.
Yeah.
And play the actual hardware.
Right.
And these games, it's not like they're, some of these RPGs are a little expensive.
The only thing I could see is, you remember how choppy the original PlayStation was?
Yeah.
Where it's going to have an HDMI now.
That's true.
It may smooth it out.
It is going to smooth it.
So, that, to me, I don't know. I'm still out on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not saying I would, but it really, to me, it depends on what comes out. You know, what additional games they announce.
Yeah, see, I don't know, man. I'm just kind of out on it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get it, but I'm
Yeah.
just kind of curious to what they actually put on it, and then honestly, I would like to see what made them make the decision of what games they're putting on
Yeah.
it.
So here, I got an idea. Here's what we're going to do, Pickens. We'll make a promise to the listeners here. When they put out these games, the complete list of games, we will go onto the PlayStation 3, look in the PlayStation Store, and see how much each of these games is, add them up, and see what you can get them for.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee it's probably going to be about the same damn price.
Oh yeah, it would have to be. I mean,
You know?
well, heck, just on Facebook yard sale today, they're having a yard sale on Hurricane, and they had a stock of PlayStation games.
Yeah.
If I hadn't been at work, I probably would have went there and picked them up.
Yeah. Because
Because
you could probably walk up and be like, hey, I'll give you $20 for every single one of those games.
right, I mean, because I remember they had Dave Mirra BMX.
Yeah.
And I remember I had fun with that game growing up.
Yeah, there's little games like that, you know,
Yeah.
that are really cool.
And I don't know, it's just, to me, it's hard to, you know, because the PlayStation to me was my first real console.
Yeah.
And
That was your own, basically.
that was mine, yeah.
Yeah.
And there were so many games I had that I had so much fun with.
Yeah.
And it's just to shorten it down to 20 games.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tough.
That's a little tough, man. 20 games is a little tough. They've already got a little bit of slop in these 5 games they've announced.
Yeah,
so, I don't know, man. Yeah, so we're not too. We'll stay tuned.
Oh yeah,
I'll stay
definitely.
tuned. You know, they
Because
get
it's
the
December
games.
releases, correct?
Yeah, it's coming out really soon too. You know,
Yeah, that's-
I feel like they've announced it kind of late.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah,
because
I mean,
you know, people are Christmas shopping now.
Yeah,
You know, I mean,
this is
people are-
September. I mean,
Yeah, it's damn near October. People are Christmas shopping now, so you got to December 8th, I think it was. It comes out maybe, or is that when we're going to the hockey game?
that's a hockey game.
Okay, what December something? It's before Christmas,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's before Christmas. So yeah, we'll stay tuned. If it's coming out in December, man, they should be announcing a game list like next month.
Yeah, they really should.
They really should and they got to start pumping some commercials on, you know,
Yep.
on cable.
Yeah, they got to do something. I mean, it's kind of really bad on the marketing department. Really, I mean, I don't know why you'd wait that long unless they just decide all of a sudden it's like, hey, Nintendo's doing this.
That's what it was.
We need to do it.
But I don't. Maybe they're thinking, okay, maybe somebody heard that, oh, they're coming out with the Nintendo 64 Classic, and they were like, we got to get this thing out now to compete with the Nintendo 64 Classic. Because I've already heard rumors that, like, once PlayStation said they were going to put this out, Nintendo's like, oh shit, well we'll put out the 64 Classic, you know. You know, there's going to be some competition there, and people love the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, they do.
I think it's one of the most overrated systems, classic gaming systems.
Yeah.
You know, there's actually, you know, because I used to have really fond memories of the Nintendo 64. Don't get me wrong, I love my Nintendo 64. There are a lot of great games on there.
Right.
But you look back at it now, and you're like, man, if I bought a PlayStation, I could get these games. If I bought a Nintendo 64... it's not the same, you know, it's not the same amount, man. It's just not there. I mean, you got your Zeldas and your Mario Karts and your Mario Tennis and Mario Golf and, you know, all the first-party games. But PlayStation, you know, a lot of times, like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 and 3, I believe, was on PlayStation 1.
Yep.
You know, you look at those games on 64... and they're just not as good as the PlayStation versions because the PlayStation was already on the CD-ROM technology.
Well, see, and I remember, I think it was a few months ago in our group chat, you know, me and Matt were kind of barbing each other, going back and forth. And, you know, to me, and like I said, wasn't big on Nintendo, but that's what I told Matt. I was like, you know, he was talking about how it beat Sony every time. And I was like, Well, you take away Mario and you take away Zelda. Honestly, the Nintendo doesn't have a whole lot of standalone games that can go head to head with Sony.
Yeah, because I mean, okay, so that's like saying, okay, you look at Sony, you take away Metal Gear, you take away Castlevania, you still got some pretty damn good games
You
there.
still got some really good games.
But you take away Mario and Zelda,
yeah,
I don't know, man.
yeah,
I don't know. That is true.
Matt was, he kind of got a little, he's like, oh, there's this and that, but honestly, you take it away and there's not a whole lot, really you can look back on and be like, well, Nintendo slaughters Sony.
Yeah.
Because I don't see it,
Yeah. But I mean,
I'm not taking it away from Mario and Zelda because Nintendo relied heavily on those games, and those were really good games.
And we all, I played them heavily.
Yeah. So I'm not taking anything from Nintendo. I'm just saying, Sony has a lot of standalone stuff that they have.
Well, I'm just from a collector's standpoint, me going back and collecting these games.
Yeah.
I look at what I did. I have an app. It's like Retro Collector. You can go in and you can tag games that you want. Mm-hmm. You put in all the games that you have. It's like you list them and it tells you what you have and stuff. So I went through the entire library of all these systems, right? PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, Nintendo 64. I go through on Nintendo 64 and look at the games that I want, that I don't have. It's not a whole lot.
Yeah.
Of stuff that I don't have, but it's like good games.
Yeah.
PlayStation 1, man, you look through that library and it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of games here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I mean Nintendo 64 did have a little bit better graphics than PlayStation. PlayStation was really blocky and chunky. But I don't know, man. I think looking back on it, I mean, I got to give it to PlayStation.
Well, and then Nintendo, or the 64. I went back, a couple months ago and got the 64 again. I didn't realize all the extra stuff you had to buy. Like, you got the memory card. Well, then I forgot. You have to have the was it the expansion pack? The
expansion pack, the red RAM in the front of the thing.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of with the original PlayStation. All you had, it came with the controller, came with the thing, and all you had to do was buy a memory card, and you were set.
Yeah,
you were ready to rock and roll. So to me that I thought that, and then it had the Rumble Pack,
Rumble Pack, which I still have one of those. I don't think it works anymore. The battery's kind of ate it.
So I'm not hating on the 64.
Okay,
I'm not meaning to,
but controllers. PlayStation murders the Nintendo 64 controller.
It does.
So, yeah, I mean, looking back at it as a collector now, I got to give the edge to PlayStation. But me as a fanboy of Nintendo, I'm always going to love the Nintendo 64.
And it's hard. I mean, you've been with Nintendo from the beginning.
Yeah, I've been with PlayStation 2 as well.
Yeah.
But I've also, every Nintendo console that's come out, with the exception of the Wii U, because I was stupid and thought, oh, well, that's just an expansion to the Wii, which it kind of was. That's what confused a lot of people. That's why nobody bought the Wii U.
Yeah.
But, I've had the NES, the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I had the GameCube. I have the Wii. I have the Switch now. Yep. So, I mean, me and Nintendo, we're kind of like you and PlayStation. Yeah. We go way back.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I've rolled hard with PlayStation. I really have.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I never had the Super Nintendo, but I had the 64. I got it later.
Yeah.
Of course, I have a Switch. Lacey had the GameCube. I didn't really, I have it at the house, but it's up in the closet.
Yeah.
So
I love the GameCube, man. But you can play all your GameCube games on the Wii.
Yeah.
Which is really awesome. But GameCube's getting expensive now. They people are kind of looking back at it like, oh, well, I guess I missed the GameCube, but I had it from day one. I'm still mad, though. I cannot find my original copy of Pikmin for the GameCube.
And the funny thing is, I remember being in middle school, and you talking about Pikmin.
All about Pikmin.
You
man.
you were all about it.
It's an awesome game, dude. You take your little troops around.
I think I remember you even like before it was released. You brought it. You were the Nintendo Power magazine.
Oh, I probably had Nintendo. Yeah,
you brought it. Like, man, this is gonna be awesome, you know. And we're sitting around the table, you know, first thing in the morning before the bell rings, and you tell us about it.
So you know what that game means to me.
Yeah,
and I lost it, man. I lost my copy of Pikmin.
That sucks, man, because
I love that game.
I think you got this the day it came out.
It was the day
you're excited about it
because everybody else was like PlayStation 2, and I'm like GameCube. But I rolled in, you know, I got my GameCube, and I remember this distinctly. My mom takes me to Kmart to get my GameCube, which all the Kmarts are closing down now.
Yeah, it's
sad. Like Hills. You remember Hills back in the day, right? We had a department store around here called Hills. Magic Mart's kind of taking its place.
But Magic Mart's shutting the doors too.
Yeah, they're all except Walmart, but you know that's a whole other story. But I remember going to Kmart to get my GameCube, and the salesman asked me like if I wanted purple or black.
Oh,
right. And like 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say black, right? Yeah. Well, I freaked out, man. I freaked out. I didn't know which way he was coming at me. And I had saw on the commercial they were all purple. I didn't even know black was an option. So I spazzed out. I was like, purple. And my mom's like, "Are you sure you don't want black? Like you would think." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know, purple. Just get purple." And but apparently I was the only kid that wanted one of those because it was like the day the GameCube came out, and I rolled in there after school, like like 4:00, and there's like 10 of them sitting on the shelf. You know, like the day
the whole time there, I could see you be like, "Man, I hope they have one left." Because I remember when I got the PlayStation, like I was doing all this work trying to save up money to get it, and I was mowing, weed eating, you know, and like I finally got $100 saved up, and like of course we live 30 minutes from Walmart, you know, so me Mom was like, "Well, after school, we'll go up there and get one." I was like, "What if they don't have? What if they're sold out?" She's like, "There'll be one," you know, and like. I get there and I'm like, I don't see any. I was like, what if they don't have it? You know, and but they had plenty, you know. So it's those memories that you.
Yeah, the GameCube, nobody cared about it. Man. I was so hyped up about it, reading Nintendo Power and all this crap. So then, you know, I get hyped up for it. I get there, but yeah, I spazzed out, and there's the purple one.
There it is.
There it sits right on my shelf, you know, with my purple controller.
That's great.
And then later, I went back, and I had to get a 2-player controller, a 2nd-player controller. So I bought the black 2nd-player controller. So, but yeah, I don't know why I said purple that day. That's one of those things I look back and I'm like, why did I say purple? But. Now I look at it and I'm like, man, that purple looks pretty awesome. Yep. So it's like a blue purple though.
It is. It really is
purple. But Brent, we did it again. That's another episode. We actually even ran a little bit over here talking about the PlayStation Classic and the Nintendo 64 and all the classic editions. We really like that stuff. So
yeah, it brings up good memories. And. It's real good talking about that too.
Yeah, so. I hadn't even thought about that GameCube story in a while, but yeah. But guys, thanks for listening again. You can find us on Facebook. Just type in the Couch Thoughts Podcast. On Twitter at Couch Thought Pod. This will be on Podomatic, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and eventually, sometime way down in the future, YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can find us over there. But our first 11 episodes are on YouTube. You can search the Couch Thoughts Podcast. Make sure you type in podcast after Couch Thoughts because apparently Jenna Marbles has a Thoughts from a Couch video series, and that bitch stole our thunder.
Oh man, that's
but you know, that's poor research on my part on the Couch Thoughts name. But guys, go check us out. Hit us up on Facebook. Tell us what you want us to talk about next week, and we'll do our best to get to it. But until the next podcast, later.